I just want to start off slow. It's like a pub for like, you know what I'm saying, and like have just that one dog to invest in because it's all about quality. You know, with me right now, it's not about quantity. I want quality, and that's exactly what I'm calling you,
my man. All these recordings, by the way, every conversations are recorded here. Just so you know, we use these we use these for educational purposes and things like that. So your name never get mentioned, anything like that. Know your number, but the conversation, if we believe, is educational for the people we do. Let me explain to you something. You're telling me that you came out of prison and your dogs, when you were in prison, your family just let them loose and kill each other and maybe or something like that. So now you want to come out and you want to start again, start your yard and build up your kennel, I guess you want to call it.
No, I'm not like just starting a yard. Well, I'm starting my own personal stuff. I'm not selling anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At first, that's what I looked into.
How long you were incarcerated, my man?
11 years.
All right. So we in 2021. You went 2011. What kind of dogs you used to have?
I got a little pit bull, man, but she's not nothing like the ones that you got. It was just one that was given to me, man, because my homeboy, he had some, and
okay.
I went to school with him, and he was like, "Man, do you want a pup?" Because I remember back in the days you had all those
okay.
pit bulls at your house,
so
you know.
And you know how the dog that they gave you is bred?
No, I don't. That's the difference between yours and his.
Okay. No, the difference is not only that. You might know how he bred, and still there'll be an ocean between my dog and that dog you got from him. But let me see. 2011 you went. 2007 is when happened the stuff with Vic. Destroy a process in America where there were people that actually had good dogs per se, and they'll sell them, they breed them and sell them. There's a blueprint that is the old timers back in the 1900s when Kobe started doing that. They'll breed dogs. They had a bloodlines from real Dogmen in the past in the 1800s. So they have some dogs, and the dogs became very popular, very wanted. People really wanted these dogs because especially the television, you had the Little Rascals on the show, and they wanted to have those dogs. And so what happens is he started selling him and other people, but he was the most known guy, and he became famous because he was really selling dogs, not because he was a great, really person in being a dogman and accolades as building a bloodline. He was just breeding dogs, right dog with left dog, and that put dogs in the hands of other people. Some other people developed those dogs, a few men developed them and became into bloodlines, right? And those bloodlines, those men did the same thing, same blueprint, because whoever get a dog from somebody does exactly the same thing. They do the same blueprint. I know somebody buys a dog from somebody and they want to do the same thing, breed the dogs, become famous because of the dogs, and sell some dogs or give away some. So what that did is, the dogs before Kobe did that, they were in the hands of, you look at the vintage pictures, they were in the hands of very elegant people, rich people, with the three-piece suits, with the puppies, with the dogs. They were the vintage dogs. They were not in the hood, and they were not in the barrio with the Latinos. They were not in the hands of local criminals or anything like that. They were maybe in the hands of high-level criminals, but they were the dog of the entrepreneurs and the builders of America. So let me explain to you what happens. So as these so-called dogmen started selling the dogs, the word dogman also got destroyed. And one person give it to another. By the you get to the 1950s, everybody had dogs. And by the 1970s, the dogs leak out to Mexico. And then from Mexico, it went over. People, the immigration process came. People like Latinos went to America, and in America, they picked up dogs. When they went back to their countries, they took these mud dogs from the street that people call pebbles in America, because they have no process. They have their water down, and some of them got pedigree, some of them don't have a pedigree, but in general, they're all watered down. There's no really geniuses in breeders. There's no geniuses in breeders, and there's no geniuses in dogmans. more than likely because they're not real dogmen. They are dog owners that they can be breeding 20, 30, 50 dogs for 50 years, for 100, for 30, 40 years, but still not dogmen. They're just dog owners, dog fanciers,
They're just puppy peddlers.
and puppy peddlers, and then dog fighters. And so in America in 2007, when the big deal came out on television, everything, I said this is the end of all this that society. And what happens is those men that had dogs, the breeders, they put away their dogs, or some of them just gave them away, some of them sold them, and there were a lot of special lot of minorities watching TV, and they all wanted to be like this guy that they call with the dogs, and they bought the dogs to try to be a badass, because that's how Americans do. Americans see a serial killer and they want to copy him. So there were a lot of copycats that wanted to be like Vic, and what it did, it backfired. It created a vacuum, and there was now what it used to be a old country boy having some dogs on the farm. Now it became the urban thug with some dogs, and now he's a kennel, and I'm a kennel, I'm a breeder, you know what I'm saying? And then the fusion of Facebook and everything else that came out, it was perfect for them, and it went from being what they called the game, which was a trash name, call it the game, and because people didn't care about the dogs anyhow, and they went into what is called the swamp. So the swamp was birthed in 2007, by 2009 with Facebook, and the swamp is now drying out, is becoming the pothole, because the idiots that developed online, they became the pretenders of the trash people, which are the swampers, and it's nothing but charlatans and talkers, and everyone is breeding these mutts they call pit bulls. And in the regular people that have good heart, that are good, honest people, they don't know any better. They just learn that these dogs, they call them pit bulls, and they take the name, the good name of a great dog that brought to America the concept of underdog and top dog, never give up and continue and be relentless, in the spirit of American founders and American developers and builders. And he became the mutt of the street, the common dog. So the good people never wanted a dog. So this was what happened. There was a fine line between those peaks of great men that come every 10 years. Since Vic, there hasn't been in America any great peak of great dogmen. They die. So he killed that era. So there's no great dogmen that are birthed into America like they used to be every 10 years. There's some great dogmen, Creansaws or Carvers, where there's no more. So it's dead. So what they have is a proliferation of the swamp in forums, YouTube hustlers asking for chats and stuff like that, begging to get some puppies for free, and scumbags, and then the guys that actually get paid for lying. You put a fake video, or you put a stories from a book into a program into YouTube, and YouTube pays this lowlife for spreading the culture of dogfighting, right, in America today. So America, you have also now technology. You have recordings. You have GPS. You have locators, and all these criminals, they're all involved in this crime. So sooner or later, the smart people, these 20 to 30 or 40-year-old dummies, will outgrow being stupid. Some of them will go to jail, and when they come out, they probably won't get into that anymore. But the situation with you is this: you were in 2011, and you missed the last chapter. So what you have now is guys like your friend that got some cheesy bullshit dogs, and they give them away, which is really a huge problem for that breed, because those fake low-level pit bulls or low-level dogs, they call them pit bulls actually. Myself, on the other side, I got dogs from the high peaks and valleys of the past of the great dogmen, and I preserved them for 30 years. I built them, developed them to be the best dogs, but I don't follow the blueprint of nobody. I was never the kind of guy that want to hang around with the boys, holding hands and singing Kumbaya, and I'm with the dogman. I never care about the community. Never did. I only have love for the dog. So on 2021, and as has been for the last 7 years, my message is not to dog fighting, not to dog breeding at all. No one should be breeding. The only person that should be breeding is someone that has the ability to see a puppy and see a dog and understand which dog should be bred. Not breeding a dog because he has a pedigree. Not breeding a dog because he came from someone X, Y, and Z in some area. Breeding a dog because he really knows all the understandings and everything that is supposed to be known about breeding dogs. So I don't breed dogs to sell to everybody. When I decided to sell dogs to the public about 5 years ago, I said, I'm going to start with a blacklist. And the first ones I'm not going to sell is the dog fighter, aka somebody lied to them, told them they're dogmen, aka the breeder, aka the breeder that sells to the show people, and the dog fighter. I'm not going to work with them. I only work with doctors, engineers, lawyers, school teachers, firemen, policemen. And if I could breed and give them to them for free, I'd probably do that. Because what I want to do is preserve the last and only the last best real American Pit Bull Terriers in the world, which are my dogs. 30 years in my hands, avoiding everything that happened outside of my hands, and 30 years prior mine's the very best dogs. When I started with the very best. So you have about 60 years of pure, highest quality American Pit Bull Terrier. The golden era of the Pit Bulls started in the 1970s and it died in 2010. And prior to that, 1950, 1960, which was starting with Eric Tudor, he created a solid base for that golden era. The golden era is gone. What you have left over is a drying swamp that is becoming, is becoming a pothole. So I wouldn't recommend you on a personal level, whether you have a dog for me or not, which I won't be able to say a dog because you want to breed dogs, and I'm against it. But I wouldn't recommend you to start.
I don't breed dogs.
You wanted a dog for breeding.
Dogs. No, I had dogs. I never told you I bred dogs.
No,
so
but you said, but you told me you want to breed and don't sell to anybody. So it's the same thing.
No.
So what you looking to do?
No, I'm not a breeder at all. I've never been a breeder.
Okay, so what would you like to do if you buy a dog from me? Let's suppose you want to buy a dog from me. What will happen? You got friends that breed dogs, and that automatically disqualify you.
I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare put one of the dogs with their dogs.
Yeah, but
if I was the breeder dog, I would breed it back to the person I brought it from.
Yeah, but that's the situation. I would have to take your.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, my man. But let me explain to you. Put yourself in my shoes. We're talking man to man, and you know that I know everything, the ins and outs, the back and forwards. I know everything. So
I know you know.
But if I were to sell your dog, I have no guarantee.
That would be my own personal pet.
I know, but I will have no guarantees that you will say no to somebody else. Listen, I had a guy in Houston came with his sick wife, saying that she has cancer and they needed an emotional support from me. A brother, black guy with the wife. I brought him to top of the line hotel. I treated them like queens and kings. They got a really great dog from me. And the guy was hiding, he gave his face as being a good man, but the guy really was a trash can. He never left the hood. He was still trying to keep a rail, hanging around with the swampers, the scumbags, the drug dealers, the lowlifes, and all kinds of trouble. And I don't want my name in between that. So this guy, this lowlife, of course he's related. And look, the guy was a complete nobody. But because he has a dog from Chico López, now he is somebody. So he wasn't going to let go that past the situation where, oh man, I got this dog from Chico López, I cannot breed it. Because according to his mentality, keeping his word with me as a real man will make him a bitch around his homies and homeboys. And so he wants to breed the dog out, and you know what I'm saying? Fuck Chico López, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they work. So I know, but I will have to take your your word for that, and that I cannot do. I cannot take somebody's word.
And you know something?
Yeah.
I remember when I first started reading the American Pit Bull Terrier, and I seen Awesome Buck, and I used to see you in there all the time, man. But hey, this was way back in 2010.
Yeah, and also, listen. By the way, you mentioned Macho Buck. Awesome Buck was born first. He's the original Awesome Buck. There was a fake one too, Brindo, what they tried to imitate back in the days, talking about 2000, 2001, 2002. And Macho Buck was born later, and it's a cheap imitation, so cheap The genetically awesome buck made 2 grand champions on 1 liter, and macho buck got bred maybe 1,000 times, never produced a single grand champion. He's the dog of the swampers. That's why you see a lot of low life people with macho buck dogs. That's why.
Yeah, but no, it was actually, I used to see you on the cover. You know what I mean? I used to see your website and everything, and you never sold to anybody.
Exactly.
You never sold to anybody, bro. You know, I see that. Trust me, I know who you are. I know what you do, and I know exactly, what you have. You know, I've been reading up on you, man, for a long time, dude.
You know what I want to do, bro? You know what I want to do? I want to trust you, but it's very hard for me to trust that I can sell your dog and you're not going to share my great dog with the swamp. There's always going to be a homeboy. There's always going to be a brother. There's going to be a friend that got some piece of shit dog that he got from maybe Tom Garner or somebody want to beat to my dog.
The dog that I have now is actually spaded, and it's my girlfriend's dog. My homeboy gave me a dog, and I just told her that she can have it.
What state you calling from?
I'm calling from Arkansas.
Arkansas. That's not so bad, but most of dog fighters.
I live in the country.
Most of dog fighters that call here are, listen to me, most of dog fighters that call here all the time are going to be douchebags. And I'm not saying that every one of those places is a douchebag, because there's mostly the most people are great people. But what happens is that in the so-called swamp of dogs, the worst citizens of every state are in that sort of deal in America. But most of swampers are going to be from Mississippi, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina. Most swampers are going to be from those states, you know?
Yeah.
But anyhow, my man, listen, you just came out of prison. I think you need to get your life straight.
Yeah, I have 3 jobs right now. You know what I mean? I don't have time for any garbage or trash in my life, man. That's gonna put me back where I just came from, bro. My life has dramatically changed before I got out of prison. I went to college while I was in prison. I got my GED while I was in prison.
What do you went for college for? What do you do for college?
Business.
Really? So what's your plans for life?
I never finished. I'll be honest with you. I never finished because I was working like 12 hours at the dairy farm in prison. They have dairy farms. They have meat farms and all that stuff in prison. So I was working 12 hours at the dairy farm, and I wasn't able to go like I was supposed. 12 hours. Hey, and you have to do it, or your ass is not going home. So I have to drop the class.
Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. What do you went to jail for?
I went to jail for drug sales.
Listen to me, man. Yep. Everybody deserves a second chance, and
yeah, man.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Young when I went, man. I wasn't this age. I wasn't even in my 30s, bro. I was in my 20s, early 20s.
Yeah, people make mistakes, but listen to me. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I can trust you right now, but I think if we stay in touch and I can see you going from here, maybe in 5, 6, 7 years, and you become a real successful person. I have a plan. I want to be able to be in position where I can actually don't sell my dogs, but give the dogs to people that can show that they can turn around their life and become great people. And of course,
right.
The people that hear this, all these comebacks are going to be like, oh, now I'm going to trick Chico. I'm a douchebag, and I'm going to tell him I'm going to go to church and find Jesus Christ.
This is one thing about it. This is what my mom and my dad always told me. My grandma also told me this too. She said you never have to ask a person what they're about, because they'll show you.
Exactly. So listen, man. I'm gonna key your number. I'm gonna key your number, and I won't forget this because this is gonna be a video. But I'm gonna take this, and you call me, and let's see in 5 years where you are. And if you're a good man and you're willing to sign a contract with your pictures, not one, several pictures like these, passport, whatever, and we do a recorded video where you get a puppy, and you're willing to sign a contract where you become a member of the swamp or dog fighting communities, or someone comes and tells me around somebody has breeding with you or a dog, or you want to trade a dog or whatever, at that particular point, I will call the police and put the police in your ass.
That's cool because I know I'm not gonna do it.
So we
People have to
we
be
will do
worried
that.
about-
We will do that.
people
Let's
that's
check.
worried
Listen to
about-
this. Let's check each other in 3 years where you are. I think in 5 years I'll be able to do business with you. And maybe if I can, if I can give my dogs away, all of them, to the best humans on earth, and I believe the people that went to jail and they reformed themselves, they are as good as gold as long as they got greatness and Jesus in their heart. You understand? As long as they don't have hate, as long as they don't feel victims of racial BS and stuff, as long as you're so strong like an American pit bull terrier where you have this mindset about you becoming number one and not letting anybody get in your head and bothering you and stuff like that. I have faith in you. You sound like a good guy. I just don't think in the position to get one of my dogs. First of all, right now my dog's $3,500 for a puppy is the average price. It used to be $7,000, but I want to get to where I can sell maybe 60 to 80 dogs, so I'll be able to drop the price. And I got some of them. Obviously, they're always going to be $7,000 because also Mayday. But I want to be able to help people out. And if you fell down, I'm not gonna step on you. But I know in my heart that you're not ready for my dog. But I think that you want to go on the right track.
No, I never. See, this is what you don't understand. Before I got locked up, I had like 7 dogs, but I never fought my dogs. I never fought them. My dad has been breeding for a long time, but at the same time, I did say breeding. However, he does not sell dogs. He keeps everything that he breeds.
Yeah.
My dad. And that's how I was taught to do it.
Yeah.
Keep everything you breed. If you're anything like him, he doesn't breed. And that's why I called you also, because I know for a fact that you started off not selling to the public. My dad never sold to the public.
I didn't sell to the public, but the thing is this. What I have is so big and so powerful, so many great, magical, let me not use magical because that's kind of childish, flagship dogs, so many legends within a small concentration of family. These dogs that I have are the very last, because after me there's no Dogman. So your father's a dog owner. He's a dog owner and maybe a dog fancier. He can breed his dog for 30 years. He'll never become a dogman. To become a dogman, a real dogman, you must be able to create such a powerful impact, positive impact in the breed on a large scale around the world. The only ones that were considered dogmen in the past were those men that everyone around the world, or everyone around the United States, which was the world at the time, wanted to get their dogs. And everyone in between that was breeding dogs for 30, 40 years was not a dogman. It was a dog owner. They understood that the word dogman was especially safe for a man that can create that positive impact, that has the power of not just owning dogs, but also creating consistent, amazing dogs for long periods of time. And that is really a dogman. Everything else is below that.
Well, the only thing my dad used the dogs for were security and hunting.
Yeah, he's a dog owner. And that
I mean, like, he's not out there like you are or anything like that. But everybody's been trying to get his dogs for years, but he doesn't sell anything.
People want to get dogs because somebody has a pedigree. People want to get dogs because they don't have good dogs. Listen, you never found more insecure people than those idiots that call themselves dogmen. They're always chasing the new flavor. They're always chasing the new dog that's come. That's why they ask you what bloodline you're running. Because they run one, they fail. They run the next one because the whole thing of being a dogman because you own dogs. Let me finish this.
The Amboss line.
Yeah. That's not really so old, by the way. That's from being Scooper up in Harlem, and so maybe like 30 years ago or something, maybe 25, maybe 30 years ago. So he's
that's what my dad has,
so he got some dogs from
all. Named Drew.
Yeah, so he got him down the line from Vince Cooper is really the man behind that really make those dogs famous. This guy Drew might be something important. I don't know. I don't have the dogs, and you can give it to me for free anyhow. But the thing about it is, he has dogs and he enjoyed them, and that's perfectly fine. And they're probably chasing him because of the pedigree. dog people are the most insecure people you'll ever meet. And the thing is people sold them a fake dream that one day they will be great by being dogmen, and what they never be dogmen. They are dog owners, and they should be happy owning the best dogs they can get. And this chasing their tail, doing crime around the dogs, created them. My man, I really have to go. I'm gonna key your number. You got it, my man.
Keep in touch with you, bro.
God bless you, bro. Listen, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't let the devil pull you back. Don't do
No,
that.
it's not. Trust me. I'm headed to work in like an hour right now. This is my third job that I work on the weekend.
My man, don't give up. Don't give up. Work hard. Listen, they want to call you back. Oh, you know the part where the movie Al Pacino says, and they always want to pull me back. Don't let them pull you back. All these people,
Right.
the homeboys, the homies, the thugs.
I already even stay down there anymore. I stay in the country. I stay like 350 miles away from where I got locked up at.
Yeah, you stay away from all those people. Listen, don't get impressed by their jewelry. Don't get impressed by their cars. Don't get impressed by their hoes. Don't get impressed by what they talk. They're all garbage. What you need to do, you need to become save your money, find opportunity, because you talk very good. And one day you become a business owner and a successful man, and you have that people mentality. I promise you, I will be loving to hear from you that you became successful, and I'll be loving to sell you a dog. If at that moment in a position where I can give a dog away, I'll do that. But God bless you, my man. Take care, okay? Be safe out there. Don't let the devil pull you back.
Most definitely. You too.
You take care, my man. You're welcome, man. Bye-bye.